So let me show you what you're going to need for this project. My situation was my wife won't let me put the boys in the car without seat belts. So I ordered seat belts. I needed aqua. I found turquoise everywhere. That wasn't helping me. Turquoise was a little too green in my opinion. But someone on Facebook suggested to me that greens, UV light is exceptionally harsh on greens. So I still tried to find belts that were a little bit closer to what I have in the front seat. So Ames Performance was the only ones that listed aqua belts for Pontiac, and when I got them, the label in the front said aqua, the label in the back said turquoise. So I sent those back and I ordered them cheaper from somewhere else, because if I'm stuck with turquoise, I'm stuck with turquoise. So when I took it out, I took out this nasty, I'm sure you have seen this, you know this, the old sound deadening material that is underneath the old seats. So that stuff had to go. And the reason that I'm doing this now after I finished is because I'm going to be able to more adequately tell you what you're going to need to do the project. So this is kind of what I started with. Noico 80 mil 10 square foot sound deadening mat. Noico Kill mat, they're all kind of the same. I mean, I guess it's personal preference. But 10 square foot was perfect for the rear seat riser in my 63 Bonneville. So this is kind of what it looks like. And you know the drill with this sound deadening stuff. The foil pattern is there to be condensed and rolled, and that's how you know that you've really tried to bond it to the vehicle. So again, you need to get a roller, but in my case, Pampered Chef. I found it, and I didn't need to grab a roller. And on top of that, trim tools, nylon trim tools. This is perfect for getting in those hard to reach, like pans, plugs, stuff like that. Little molded pieces of the floor pan. Obviously, mat knife. Step bit, my particular application took it to 1/2 inch. So the bolt for the new seat belts is going to be 7/16, so the hole would have been 1/2 inch. Scissors for your foil tape. Don't really need to spend a ton. I got Reflectix or Reflectix, whatever it's called. Lowe's, $2.15 maybe, 30 feet. I still have a little bit left. You can see how much, and I was pretty liberal with seaming the places that I had pushed through and tried to form too much, and this had torn. So I used a lot, and I still had some left over. And obviously scissors, but you can just tear that foil tape. But this is what I put down first. So I prepped and wire brushed, sanded, got all the places off of the riser where the old sound deadening material had the glue had it stuck there. So got that, kind of lightly sanded everything, and cleaned it with acetone before I painted it, and painted the rust bullet. It's pretty potent. This is a quarter pint, and it is $10. The sound deadening for 10 feet was $20. So I don't know, this was Harbor Freight, this was like $4. So that's kind of what you can expect to spend on the project even if you're just deciding to put some sound deadening material, because it's made a pretty decent difference. I can't wait for you to see it. Taking some time today to finish putting the sound deadener on the rear seat riser. Jacob was out here giving me a hand, and when you can't find an installation roller, you just go to the kitchen cabinet and find something else. But we were starting, and it's already making a pretty big difference, I think. What do you think? Sounds pretty good. It's not going to go the whole way up the back, but at least it should cover the seatbelt holes, hopefully, that I had to drill. So we'll see what happens. So I'm on the last sheet now. The boys have been out here helping. Get my other glove back on. This is the Noico. It was called Butyl sound deadener. It was 10 square foot. I think it was like $20 on Amazon. I knew I didn't need a ton, but 10 square foot, it turns out, has been actually perfect for this back seat, just the riser. But the best thing is to do is to peel that back just a little bit and fit it as best you can. You'll still have to piece. That's still going to be a thing, even though you won't want it to be, but it's still going to be a thing. And just kind of peel it back as you go. You should be somewhere close to your lines, but you're going to have to make relief cuts and everything. So I can see that this is where this starts, so I can just kind of cut up a little bit. Close. But you see how gummy it gets on a warm day, which at first I was kind of cursing myself for doing this on a 92-degree day, but it's actually worked out really, really well. So just want to kind of press it and work it in to where you want it. Get the wire up. And then when I get it to the wheel well, I'm making another relief cut. Actually, it's just a trim. But then that can come out, and you can use that to piece if you need to. Which, on a nice hot day too, it's really easy to push pieces of this butyl together. Let's get really gummy. So I've already soaked through 2 sweaty shirts already, and this will be about the end of it, hopefully. But then reflective aluminum tape, I got this at Lowe's. It's like $2 for this roll. And it'll just tear. So definitely not as sprightly as I used to be. Just having to contort yourself to be in the back of the car is a killer. Now this tape, if you play with it enough, it's going to be easier if you don't wear gloves, but definitely not the best. If one side doesn't start to peel, another might. Just kind of work it back and forth there and start to separate. And you're better off just to peel it back just a little bit like that and start it the same way that you do with the underlayment itself. Because as you work it, and peel it, it'll curl. So bend it. It's aluminum. You can just kind of crinkle it and fold it and bring it along your seam line. No biggie. And the old faithful kitchen roller. You can see this end, it's kind of tapered a little bit, but you really can see the diamonds compressed with this particular end. But if it's flatter here, that's a little bit better because it's straight. But don't ask me, I don't know if this is a Pampered Chef thing or what it is. Yes, it's Pampered Chef, yeah. But guess what? We're using it for something else. And too big there, plastic trim tool can get in to the places that you need it to, especially like under here and down into your plugs down here. So then all that's going to be left is the tape. Tape the seams, and then as soon as the seat belts get here, it's game on, because the wife won't let me have the boys in here until there's seat belts. So till next time, I did want to show you, if you're planning to put seat belts in your Pontiac and the factory option wasn't there, or if the factory option was there and you didn't have it, you can see these. There's these right here. I'm gonna kind of cut out. These are the holes, the first holes that I drilled. As you can see, look how gummy that is because of how warm it is. So there was a dimple there that would have been probably a factory drill point, I guess. And then there was another dimple kind of, let's see if we can move that back a little bit, right here. And get it out. So we're gonna be good there. Now, on this side, and I apologize because I'm using a tripod and you're probably seeing my shadow everywhere, but if this helps somebody not have to do the research that I had to do, then that's great. But these ones on the outside, I just kind of eyeballed it and kept it level because I couldn't find any dimples. I tried. You'll probably see a picture at the beginning of this video that showed what the back seat looked like when I pulled everything. And it looked rusty, but that was the seam sealer, a lot like what's up here, sorry. So somebody on Facebook had suggested, I mean, obviously I was going to paint it anyway, but to paint it, get it all one color, and then you'll be able to see the dimples a little bit better. But I still couldn't really find dimples on the back. The back out, the outsides. So I just kind of kept it level. Didn't take it all the way over, but kept it in the middle of this little segment, and I think that's going to work out, but we'll see. So on to the last piece, and then hopefully after that some seat belts. Okay, so through the miracle of time, seat belts have arrived from Seat Belts Plus. So I got 4. I'm going to do the fronts later, but 2-point turquoise seat belts, which I'm pretty sure this was the same label that was on the back of the ones that I got from Ames for like 3 times the price. So They come with the hardware mounting kits as well. I mean, it's $2.95 extra, but so I got everything just about laid out back here. Got the car jacked up on ramps, a couple of jack stands extra for safety. Why not? So I'm gonna get these bolts in here and then we're gonna slide underneath. All right, I'm gonna take you under here and show you. There's the middle two with their spring washers, and because the outsides are boxed in, there's not enough room for the spring washer, so I use some blue Loctite, and it's in there pretty good. There's the same thing over on this side, and of course I had to have one of the boys hold the bolt in there for me, but they went in pretty nice and they're pretty tight. So next should be installation of the rear seat. All right, try to get this rear seat back in here. Now these hooks are what it's gonna hang on from the top, and it'll pop right in. And then you fold down the armrest and pull the retainer back, and the bolts are gonna go right in there. Okay, so those are the two bolts that need to go in. And then under each one of these seats is a clip that the tab needs bent down on. So as soon as that tab is bent down around that hoop, you're good to go. So now it's going to be time to slide the rear seat bench in, and we'll see what it looks like. All right, I laid some paper down under here because it is time for some 3M Super 77. So if you can see where the adhesive was before, I'm going to try to spray that and then try to get this thing back to where it was. And the directions are to let it get tacky. And then stick it down. We use a trim tool to tuck the edges down into the armrest, and then it should be time for the rear bench. All right, got the carpet all tucked. Got the seat belts in. Let's see if we can back off a little bit. There we go. So the belts are in. They're a little more green than I would like them to be, but for all intents and purposes, especially if that was the only color I could have got that was aqua anyway, I'm pretty happy with them. So now the boys can come cruising. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully this kind of helped you out, give you a little bit of insight and prepare you for the job if you're going to do it. So I will see you soon.